Sport mode, DSC deactivated. Go. This thing goes wow. Wow. Good afternoon everyone and welcome to day 444 in my Cayman, although not in my Cayman today. Mileage on my Cayman right now is just coming up for 69,000, which means I've done almost 12,000 in it so far. Today on my Cayman I'm going to talk about modifications. Now I'm not usually one for modifying my cars. My past history modification wise is that I've completely ruined two cars. My 172 Cup and my Fiesta ST, genuinely I wish I'd left them well alone. On my Cayman though, there's three things I've changed already, but they don't really count as modifications, and a fourth which definitely does, but not in the usual sense. As I said, the first three things don't count as modifications really in my mind, but they're changes from standard. I vlog about my Cayman ownership, so here we are. And the first of those changes to my Cayman is I fitted a new Android head unit. I went for a Pioneer SPH DA160 DAB. It's a double DIN touchscreen. It comes with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but wired only. The unit itself has no physical buttons, no control knobs, but the touchscreen is good. It's nice and clear and very responsive. Doesn't give the best sound, but you get Google Maps, Spotify. What more do you need? Which brings me neatly onto my second mod, which is a reversing camera. Now, what's available out there reversing camera wise are mostly awkward and very boxy looking things. The reversing camera I've fitted to my Cayman is quite similar to the one that I had on my Focus RS and my M140i. It's recessed in, sits nice and flush, and is barely noticeable, but it gives a really, really good image. And my third, not a modification, is a new dash camera, a Thinkware Q800 Pro 2-channel. It records front and rear cameras simultaneously onto just the one SD card. It's got a Polaroid filter on the front, GPS, parking mode, battery protection, shutdown function. It's a very slim build, it's nice and discreet. Now all three of those things were fitted by High Down Audio in Worthing. Did cost me a few quid, but Jeremy knows his stuff. If you're looking for something similar, highly recommended. And my last modification, as I mentioned, is a slightly unusual one. And if you follow me on Instagram, you may know already what's coming. But if not, here's a big hint.
Feels like there's a lot more G-force in this than in any other car. Is it because we're low and sat down?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I mean, it's over-gripped. It's got way too much grip.
I think that's
for its
what
power.
it is. Yeah, the grip is
It's
just...
got way too much grip.
I've never had to grip that.
Okay, it weighs 3/4 of a tonne less than that M5.
Anything else that I've been out in, probably.
But the rear tyres are almost the same width.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, the G-force, I feel it.
That's what I'm fixing on my Cayman. Grip. It has far too much of it. My car came from the factory on optional Cayman S 18-inch wheels, and that gives me 235 40/18 tyres on the front and 265 40/18 tyres on the back. And with only 245 horsepower and no torque, that's just too much rubber. So a few weeks ago, I managed to pick up a set of 17-inch wheels. As well as coming with the chunkier sidewalls, more importantly, they're 30mm narrower on each corner.
There he is with One Direction on hard.
So my Cayman is now sat on 205 55/17s on the front and 235 50/17s on the rear. Now one of the rears has very slight curbing on it. The other three are all good though, and the Hankook tyres that it's come on, they're not the best. So I will be doing my best to wear those out as quickly as possible so I can get a nice set of matching N-rated tyres on them. So that should fix my excess grip issue. Now I know most people wouldn't call what I've done a modification. Yes, it will make the car slower, but I get to feel it move about more, and it will move about more often. That to me is very much an upgrade. It's like the car is on tiptoes. It's got a much lighter touch on the tarmac, and I'll get to feel more of what that lovely mid-engine chassis has to offer. Having said that, I've barely done a couple of hundred road miles on it so far, and as a road car, it's definitely made it better. But on track, I will get to put that to the test this coming Sunday, because I'm entered in the first of this year's 2 GRRC Auto Solo competitions, which means against the clock, through the cones, and on 4 different courses. I'll get to really throw it about and see what it feels like on its thinner wheels with the deeper sidewalls. Okay, now on to the elephant in the room. This thing, the Mini Cooper SE, or Mini Electric. This one's just a demonstrator that I've managed to grab for half a day, but I do have one on order. I did mention in my last video that the car I had on order was quite similar to the Cayman. So how is this similar to the Cayman? Well, its weight. It's within 50 kilos of the Cayman. All of its weight is really low down because it's batteries and they're under the floor. And all of its weight is between the 2 axles. I've never driven a Mini before, so I've got nothing to compare this to, but I've got a history of light hot hatches. And what I can say with this so far is that it feels good. On these roads that I'm familiar with, yeah, this thing feels all right. If you want to see how I get on in my Cayman, the Auto Solo, or just in general on its skinnier tyres, or how I get on with this thing, the Mini EV, when it finally arrives, which at the moment the ETA is sometime in June, then don't forget to subscribe. Please hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Give this one the mandatory thumbs up, please, and thank you very, very much for watching.